Pierluigi Collina prepares to start this game. And it's Roma attacking from left to right to kick things off. And they're starting without their three-pronged attack tonight. So is that an interesting decision, do you think, by Capello for this game, or was it one you rather expected?
Well, it's a decision that comes out of last week's defeat, 1-0 defeat by Brescia. He's decided to opt to a more covered, a more careful. Basically, it's not 4-4-2, it's 4-4-1-1 really.
Totti puts that in. It could still come down and fall for the cross for Mancini, and it's a corner in the opening minutes to Roma. There is one notable absentee on the Juventus team that we'll talk about in a minute. Mancini receives the ball quickly from Totti, gets in a good cross, and a vital header to get the danger clear, only as far as Lima, and then tucked back inside. Well, the absence, of course, I'm talking about is that of Alessandro Del Piero, who's replaced by Marco Di Vaio, and that really is quite a shock in the starting lineup.
Well, it's a shock in as much as Del Piero is considered the automatic first choice alongside Trezeguet, but it's no shock to find Di Vaio starting because he's been in such terrific form all season. He scored 7 goals in very limited number of opportunities, and he was absolutely sparkling for him the other night in Italia Cup semi-final first leg at Stadio Lealpe, 2-2 draw with Inter.
Cross comes in, and the header looked as though it was from Cassano. Drifted over the crossbar, however.
And as to back, I was saying, Di Vaio scored both the goals in that 2-2 draw with Inter, and he's been looking so sharp. That performance coming at the end of a period when he's been looking sharp made it very difficult, I think, for Marcello Lippi to keep him out of the team. And the obvious player to be dropped was simply Del Piero, who's not been, he started off the season well. He got an injury halfway through the autumn, and he hasn't looked the same since. Nobody would be surprised that Di Vaio's in here.
Ball played into Olivier Dacourt. He goes out wide to Lima. Tries to combine with Cassano, but Juve come up with the ball. Haven't seen much of it in these early exchanges. The foul on Antonio Conte, the captain tonight, by Olivier Dacourt, who's only just back from suspension. Managed to pick up 6 yellow cards and 1 red in his 15 appearances this season, which is a fairly spectacular effort, but he's that sort of player. And would you expect Juve to sit back and try and soak up some early pressure at all? Or
no, it's not Marcello Lippi's style. No, this is going to be give and take. They're both going to go at one another.
The last time these two sides have met, both times it's finished 2 apiece. So we could expect goals, except that's the commentator's kiss of death for a 0-0 draw. So I won't say we will expect goals. But I'm unhappy by that challenge on Totti. Free kick awarded to Roma, and it's with Panucci to Totti. He's easily hassled off the ball though, and Conte chance to bring it forward. Now, the Juventus defence has been one of the main problems as a touch for Di Vaio this season, and one of the main talking points has obviously been the form of Nicola Allegretali. However, I think you were saying to me earlier, Paddy, that the defending against Inter Milan in the Cup without Allegretali showed no signs for optimism really in the junior ranks.
No, Allegretali, they're going to have to stay with Allegretali and just hope that he, settles in.
Around with the ball forward. It's one comfortably. It comes through to Dacourt in the end. Pavel Nedved manages to win the ball back.
One of the key questions about this match obviously involves Nedved and Totti, because this is a sort of game in which you look to players like that to do things for you. But Totti has a tendency not to turn up for the big occasions, so this is really a big. To my mind, there's a certain question mark over him on these situations, and this is an important game for him.
To Mancini here, back inside
to Emerson.
I was reading an interview with Damiano Tomassi before this game where he said that he expects Pavel Nedved to start hitting his true top form any time now. Feels that he's been playing with his foot slightly off the gas since winning the Ballon d'Or. So he's still been setting up goals and turning on the magic in short bursts. Here is Nedved. Cross comes in. It's towards Di Vaio. It's deflected away and it's a corner to Juve.
No, I don't know why Tomassi says that, because I think if one player who's been absolutely outstanding all season long for Juventus, Sunday in and Sunday out, it's Nedved. He's the sort of player who doesn't lose form at any stage of the season.
Corner comes in. It's headed clear, but it's only gone as far as Thuram. That's good defending from...
It's Mancini's out there for some reason. He should be on the right. What he's doing out over there on the left, I don't know.
Confusing me.
Here you see him coming back to his normal position now. Here he is back out on the right.
Long ball struck towards Cassano. It's cut out. Zambrotta. And inside, Legratali over to Thuram. How important do you think the presence of Lilian Thuram is on the right for Juventus? Because he hasn't been present all season.
No, he's had a few problems injury-wise. He's very important. He's still when he's fit and well, he's still one of the best defenders in world football.
Nedved comes up with it. Cut back. Chance here. And a totally wrong option. Probably a shot would have been the better option, especially at this early stage. Nothing to lose there. Thuram comes up with the ball though. Camoranesi. Negretali comes back to Thuram from Nedved. Camoranesi. They go back to Negretali. Thuram and Camoranesi combining once again. Lilian Thuram does love the opportunity to come forward. Well, it's going to be easily cut out.
That's a mistake.
Real chance here. Cassano to get the cross in, and a vital challenge from Zambrotta. Quick throw and taken by Cassano. Just Totti in the box at the moment. Emerson. Dacour. A little loose from Dacour, and it goes out for a throw into Juve. Wasn't there enough 10 minutes of this opening period? Neither side in the ascendancy, which will be pleasing for Filippi, certainly coming here. To Samuel. And now the ball with Mancini. Cassano. It's a good tackle back from Nedved. And a chance for Di Vaio to come forward. That'll be cut out by Dacour though. With Cassano ahead of him. Neat 1-2, but it just runs away from him. Now, if, as you predicted, it was a draw tonight, would you say that Juventus would be the side who would be happier with the result? Or
yeah, obviously, yeah.
Or would
as the visitors, yeah, obviously.
As the visitors, but then in the wider picture of the championship as a whole, it still means both sides would be 7 points, but not 7 points. Yes. No, my maths is deserted.
Both sides would be 7 points behind.
Behind Milan.
Yeah. As this
foul on Nedved there, and Colina just wants a little word with Walter Samuel.
No, I mean, it draws the ideal result in theory for Milan. In practice, it remains to be seen. The reality of the Italian Championship in recent seasons has been that, sides have come back from quite some way off the pace. Juventus won it a few seasons ago, 9 points off the pace with just 7 days to go. If you're 7 points off the pace today, you've still 14 days to go.
Cross in, headed out firmly by Samuel. Emerson fails to get a touch on it, and Juve can look to build, except Totti's back. Totti and Nedved both fighting for the ball. Cassano, who hasn't been enjoying the same sort of form that he had at the beginning of the season recently, and certainly some people thought that he might be the striker to be dropped for this game. Nedved fouled by Samuel, and with Totti still holding his face from an earlier challenge.
It's very hard for Capello to drop Cassano though, because he could nobody put it on instead. You know, Montella and Del Vecchio are simply not fit.
And that's Samuel going in the book, I think, for the second foul on Pavel Nedved in a matter of 2 minutes. That's his 5th yellow of the season. And there's the first, and probably not the last back heel that we'll see from Francesco Totti tonight. Thuram, that's easily cut out by Bonucci. Nice touch from Totti to Cassano. Totti has it back. Still going, and that was a relatively cynical foul from Legretali, and it's a free kick in, well, the most promising free kick that Roma have had so far in this game. And do you reckon someone will try and hit one from here, or
Totti himself?
Yeah. So 26 metres from goal. Gianluigi Buffon orders his wall into position. Totti's the man standing behind it. Joined by Christian Chivu, who could also be someone to have a pop. Chivu, who of course scored.
Oh.
And that was not far away.
It's a good one. It's going wide all the time, though, wasn't
just going wide. But there was a touch, obviously, from Buffon, because it's another corner, and Totti plays it in. It's beaten everyone, but it comes to Olivier Dacour, who drives it back across. And again, and it's 1-0! Olivier Dacour, his first of the season, and a pretty opportune time to get it.
It's a bit of a nothing goal, John, in the sense that it's just a corner's come in. It's half clear, but in fact, he gets 2 shots on it, Dacour. It's the second shot he scores with.
Well, the first shot with his weaker left foot was well blocked, but then the second rasped across the top of the grass into the bottom corner, and not really anything Buffon could have done about it.
It's a good corner because it's out swinging. It's difficult for the defence to deal with. This is the first shot. It's not a great shot. It's blocked, but he gets a second chance. There's an indication saying that Bonucci's offside there.
Well, Bonucci wasn't the only person offside there, but
I mean, it's hard to say he's interfering with play there.
They genuinely weren't interfering with play. It didn't touch any of them going through, and I don't think Buffon would say that they made any difference to his effort at getting it.
Well, that's a good start for Roma. That much you can say. The thing about Roma is, of course, remember, this is a side that went for 4 months unbeaten this season in every type of competition, Italian Cup, UEFA Cup and Championship. And then it all went wrong on 6th of January. They're beaten 2-1 here at the Olympic Stadium by Milan. And things have not gone right since then, and they probably touched their season low point last week with that defeat by Brescia. So for them, in a sense, tonight's game is they're under even more pressure tonight than Juventus.
Yeah.
And that's perhaps reflected a little bit in the way they've begun here. They've begun looking as if they're really up for it.
Well, another worrying statistic for them coming into this game, of course, was the fact that out of the big 5 in Italy, Lazio were the only team that Roma have managed to beat so far this season. However, ball given away, and Camoranese's in behind the defence. He gets the cross in. Trezeguet chases it down. Chance for Zambrotta to get the ball back in. Camoranese felt he was held up by Chivu. The ball's released quickly, and Emerson has plenty of space to start into here It's a lovely ball to Totti, who has a dig! Oh, it's crashed off the bar! And Juventus with a very lucky escape.
Yeah, well, that set the Olympic Stadium alight, I tell you that much. That's what I want to see from Totti. This is a game where he's got to stand up and be counted, and he's just done it there. And full marks, by the way, to Lima, the ball to him. Here he goes again, Totti.
Tried to pick out Mancini, who was coming up outside him, but Juventus now with a chance to come forward with Nedved. Camoranesi outside him. And all of a sudden, this game really is picking up.
Well, it's looked like a serious game from the first second, but it's now boiling. We're gonna have a terrific game here.
Bonucci committing the foul. There's the ball from Lima.
Terrific pass from Lima, but the rest is pure genius.
And Buffon, well, he was beaten all ends up by that shot.
Yeah, well, that's the sort of football is the reason why people say this is the best Italian footballer of his generation.
Free kick to Juve in a promising position. Camoranesi. Well,
gets that all wrong, doesn't he?
Not one he'll want to see again. But we've had just over 15 minutes played here at the Olimpico. It's Roma 1, Juventus 0. A goal from Olivier Dacourt. It's Jonathan Zabina with a throw-in. Down by the corner flag after a very poor free kick from Mauro Camoranesi. There was a foul on Cassano, and so
it's a terrific atmosphere here, John, at the Olympic Stadium. I mean, the Olympic Stadium is so big. Here's that effort from Totti again. Pure class that is. The Olympic Stadium is so big, 82,000 seater. It doesn't simply get filled up for most Serie A games. Indeed, the vast majority of Serie A games doesn't. But one side is guaranteed to give you a full house, whether it's Lazio are playing here or Roma. One opponent will give you the full house as Juventus, and so it is tonight. There's just 6,000 Juventus fans here. The rest of them are all Roma.
Dacourt looking for the return ball to Bonucci. Not quite coming off. Legretali to Thuram. Dacourt should pick this up. He's got Lima inside him. Mancini started a run. Lima with it. That's Emerson. And the free kick awarded there for a foul by Cassano. So Juve have to now try and find a way back into this game. Haven't really created anything yet, Juventus.
No, but Juventus are absolutely are never say die merchants. If ever there was a never say die team, you haven't beaten them until the final whistle's gone.
And they also scored the most goals this season in Serie A. Mancini looking for the touch through.
Well, they've had, as you were alluding to earlier, they've had only one real problem so far this season, Juventus, and that's been, by their standards, a large number of goals conceded. I think Roma and Milan have only conceded 9 goals at the beginning of this weekend, whereas Juventus has conceded more than, I think, scored 21, is it they conceded?
21 they've conceded, exactly right, yeah.
And the difference is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, more than twice as many goals as the two closest rivals have conceded. So it means obviously there's a problem in defence.
It's highly unusual as well. It's
for Juventus, it is.
The sort of statistic you look at and have to look at again because it just doesn't look in place with Juventus.
It doesn't. No.
Cassano trying to pick out Mancini. That's well read by Legretali, and now Di Vaio.
And curiously enough, sorry John, curiously enough, they didn't try and during the January transfer window when we were all expecting them to look for reinforcements in defence. Well, they may have looked for them, but they didn't find them, and they didn't buy anybody, which surprised a lot of us because I, for one, certainly thought they'd buy somebody, maybe a player like Ferrari or Bonera from Parma, but somebody. Which is why, to go back to Legretali, which is why Legretali has to come good.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on him, and it's not as though he really needed any more.
Well, he didn't, because going to Juventus as a young player puts you under a lot of pressure anyway. It's like going to Manchester United or to Real Madrid or to Bayern Munich, the big club in your country. You really have to perform when you get there, and every little mistake you make gets magnified.
This is Conte. And a foul there from Decor. And he has to be careful with his discipline this season, Olivier Decor. I mean, it's already been...
No, it's a good point you made about the number of yellow cards he's taken, because it's absolutely reflective of the way he plays. He really gets stuck in. Well, he doesn't normally do score goals. He picked a great night to start scoring goals as well.
Exactly right. Camoranesi now as Juve look to build. Nedved.
Danger.
Excellent effort from Pavel Nedved.
Yeah. You can't give Nedved any space.
That one always just drifting away from goal, but
yeah, it wasn't that near in the end. But I mean, he scored in from those positions before, and you can't give him any space. Interesting thing that Capello's done here is he normally plays with a 3-4-1-2 sort of formation. He's got 4 men in defence here because he's
kicked on towards Di Vaio. Comes up against Chivu, and the Romanians penalised.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough.
And so it's going to be a little nudge in the back there.
Yeah, it's not a shoulder charge. He's nudging from behind.
One of the interesting things about the Legratali affair was that Roma were in the market for him as well.
That's right.
They brought in Chivu, who's been a massive success.
Yeah, well, most people would say Roma's have the better of the bargain, haven't they?
That's almost, well, certainly in the Italian media, put even more pressure on Legratali to perform because of Roma's replacement.
Absolutely.
Now, free kick to Juve in a very promising position. They'll be hoping for a better delivery from Camoranesi than the one they had slightly deeper earlier. It's gone in, it's long, but that'll be a high foot.
One thing, John, by the way, when we see Collina there, there's a huge sense of relief in the Italian media, and generally that Collina got the nod to ref this game, because at the moment the Italian refereeing appointments are done on a draw system, and draws names are pulled out of the hat basically. A lot of people would prefer if it wasn't just a straightforward appointment system. The two guys who are in charge of appointing referees actually just named a referee per match, because if there was a referee, if you could have named a referee rather than pulling his name out of a hat, the guy you would have appointed for this game would have been Collina, who actually came out in the end. Because without any doubt, he's not just the world's number 1 referee, he's most definitely Italy's number 1 referee.
Yeah, indeed. The amount of research he does into each player's habits is something I found particularly fascinating when he's reading about him, just consummate professional when it comes down to his job. So
he's very, very professional in his approach to a game.
Legratali goes to Thuram, who has had a couple of little forays forward, nothing has yielded any fruit yet. Legratali now to Camoranesi. Comes in short to Di Vaio. He's got Nedved inside him. Back to Tacchinardi, who's hassled off the ball well there.
Good play
by Emerson. Yeah. A little bit of space out here for Mancini. Goes for the early cross. He'll be fortunate to get that back. It wasn't well played at all, but Roma still come up with the ball. And some room here for Emerson. Lovely turn from Totti, and he's brought down. And going to be a free kick to Roma in a very, very promising position once again now. Chivu hit the first one and didn't hit the target. Totti's hit a half volley onto the underside of the crossbar, which had left Buffon. I mean, I should imagine it's going to be the skipper who fancies this one, but...
Well, it's a good position again for the left-footer keeper, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the left-footer's position, but I know what you mean. Totti looks like he's...
It is Chivu again. It takes a deflection off the top of the wall, and that will be a corner. And it is, of course, from a corner that Roma scored their goal. That was, well, it looked from the trajectory when it hit the wall that it was going in about the right place.
Yeah, it looked well struck, yeah.
Cassano. Totti back in. Important header once again, and little layoff from Di Vaio to Nedved. Nedved's tackled, though, in a very poor position. Now this free kick to Roma, I'm willing to lay all my money on the fact that this one's going to be taken by Totti. It's on the right side.
It's his position now, yeah. There's no argument about that free kick, by the way. Legretari missed the ball. He's arguing with the referee, but he's missed the ball entirely there and taken down that goal. And Colina, as per usual, was pretty close to the action, so there's no problem.
Buffon once again has to get the right amount of people in the wall. But from this sort of range, it's far enough out to give Totti or Kivu the amount of distance to get it up and down. So this time it is Totti. It's into the wall though. He'll get another chance. Tries to go round the wall. Does well to get the ball back. Touch from Cassano. Takes a deflection and it's another corner. And Roma enjoying a good little period of pressure here.
No, they've made a great start. They've done very well.
Just past the halfway point in the first half. They lead by 1-0. The goal coming from Olivier Decour, his first of the season. Now it's a corner. Struck by Cassano. Kivu waited for it. It's off Trezeguet. And the flag is up.
Did Trezeguet head that? Because if he did, he was quite a brave man. He did too, didn't he? He's a brave man. Because that one was travelling as well.
That was travelling. I think Buffon probably had it covered. A little cheeky back heel, that one from Cassano. Well, Kivu, who did score in that 2-2 draw in Turin.
From a free kick.
From a free kick. He's striking the ball well, and it's certainly, apart from the first free kick, it's going on target. It's just had a wall and a player in the way so far. Header won by Mancini. Totti has it. Mancini continues outside him. It's an important covering tackle from Takenadi.
Yeah, good play.
Conte comes up with the ball, finds Nedved. Space for Camoranesi. Thuram goes sprinting past him. Takenadi with the ball once again. Nedved off to Camoranesi. Slightly more purpose in that Juventus attack. Nedved appalled with the pass inside to him, and well, he might be. Played down the line to Camoranesi, who's fouled, and not for the first time. Roma concede a free kick in a dangerous position, and Christian Panucci's the man to give it away. They've survived 2 of these so far.
Well, it's Cassano there, he can't possibly be there. It's no back at the right distance.
Had a ball in from Camoranesi. Header was from Di Vaio.
That was close.
Who for a short man, or shorter man than the defender he's up against.
Yeah, I know he's definitely quite a bit shorter than the defenders he's up against.
And I think he earned that place with a little shove in the back on Kivu. And that's what's been penalised. So we've had almost half an hour here at the Stadio Olimpico in Rome. Roma lead by 1-0 thanks to Olivier Decour. Now if you were Marcello Lippi at the moment, you'd probably be wanting your side to have a little bit of pressure before half-time so that they can at least take something out of this first half, which at the moment has been largely dominated by the hosts.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they will do, though.
Ball down by Cassano, loses out in the end. Now Trezeguet, who's been remarkably anonymous, but that's often when he's at his most dangerous. Gambrotta's ball inside to no one. Kivu gets it out, goes up to Totti. Doesn't win a free kick. Conte. Takenadi with the swept ball across field to Camoranesi. Inside, Nedved with space. Slightly snatched at it.
That's the second time
disappointed.
Roma defensive left him with a bit of space just outside the area. Look, he's nobody near him. It's really dangerous. Fortunately for them, he completely
gets underneath
completely
the ball.
Missed it. Yeah.
Oh,
bounces on him a bit awkwardly as well, doesn't it? Just at the moment he goes to hit it, you see it takes a funny bounce.
A pro-Rome bounce.
They have the pitch program to do things out to the Juventus players.
Totti wins it in the air, down to Mancini. Now Emerson. Totti. Cassano sprinting ahead into some space. Being picked up by Thuram. Lovely lofted ball over to Panucci, who was just straying offside. And Thuram looks to capitalise on the absence of the left back. Camoranesi, Di Vaio. Dacour sees the free kick. Well, that was a bad decision in that case.
Yeah. I think Fabio Capello agrees with you. It was a bad decision. Clearly he was well onside.
Legretali trying to hit Trezeguet, fails, and it's one in the air by Mancini. Touch off to Emerson from Totti. Lima, Totti. That's Cassano, Lima and Mancini ahead of him.
Handball by Takenardi.
It was a handball, and that's offside.
Devay is another of those players who has got so much pace that he's often caught offside when he's not necessarily. In this case, he is offside, but
just stepped up at the right time there. But yeah, they get quite easily. Could have looked offside then anyway. If the ball had even been played just a split second earlier. Excellent challenge.
Lima,
an excellent pace demonstrated, although he can't be too disappointed with the free kick being given there, because
well that's a shoulder charge, is it not?
That is a shoulder charge.
It's shoulder to shoulder.
He might have slightly mistimed it and got a little bit of Legretali's back as well, in which case it's a good decision. Trezeguet with Nevet outside him, cuts in. That's an important challenge coming in from Dacour.
That's what the sort of thing you really look to Dacour to do, and that's what he's done a very good job since he joined Roma this time last year. And that he's managed to score a goal tonight on top of all of that is a real old plum on the cake.
Jonathan Zabina. A little bit of space. Gets it into Cassano. He's fouled, turning away from Montero. Paolo Montero, who really comes from the old school of Italian defending.
Yeah.
There's plenty of little nudges and
Italian stroke Uruguayan defending.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He is Uruguayan, but he reminds me quite a lot of Gentile in his...
No, I mean, he's absolutely, you're right. But I think there's a lot of parallels between the...
Here's a quick glimpse at the goal.
Yeah.
And it really was, it couldn't have been any more perfect, actually. And this was when it was so nearly 2-0 just a few moments later.
Well, that is perfection, this is.
Sheer class from Totti. And you just know that if a chance like that drops into the back of the net for him in a big game like this, it could well be the catalyst for him to overcome, as you were saying, his slight aptitude at not turning up on the big day. You feel if something went right for him in a really big match, then he'd be able to perform.
I mean, he didn't perform badly for Italy in the Euro 2000 final against France in Rotterdam 4 years ago. But I think, I would say the same thing about him in Euro 2004. There's a number of games there where I'd like to see him stand up.
Totti looks to turn, and he had got the better of Legretali, but Zambrotta got back, and Legretali's arm just managed to linger long enough to prevent him getting away from him. Montero and Takenardi. Thuram and Camoranesi ahead of him, back inside to Takenardi. Goes over the top towards Di Vaio, who did very well to get that and to win a corner. Here is the incident where Legretali was holding back on Totti and didn't look happy at all. Camoranesi with the corner. It's one in the air, but comfortably collected by Ivan Pellizzoli. And mentioning Pellizzoli's name, I think, for the first time there, because I can't think of an occasion in this first half when he's had to pull off a save.
He hasn't had to save, yeah.
Montero comes forward, gives it away though. The ball's just hit over the top. So 10 minutes of normal time in this first half to go. Roma protect that 1-0 lead. The goal scored by Olivier Decourt. Camoranesi now has it. That's an excellent sliding challenge to prevent Nedved getting away. Decourt, Lima and Emerson are combining well in midfield. Sabina out to Mancini. Now Emerson, Totti, to try and get Cassano in quickly, and it's a terrible touch. And Cassano so nearly got away there from Montero, and Lilian Thuram made the vital challenge. Cassano, though, has gone down in a heap and was waving for...
I think he's twisted a knee badly there from that tackle from Thuram.
It's a vital, vital challenge from the Frenchman, though, and it does look serious for Cassano, but a very, very lazy touch from Montero that even allowed that chance to happen.
No, it's a mistake from Montero, but one of the problems about the Juventus defence is, as you look at this corner again, the headers from Ligorotai, one of the problems I've had this season is that, you know, some of the key players in it have been injured or aren't the players they used to be. Thuram's missed out a bit through injury, and Montero, for my money, is not quite the player he was. He's, you know, he's 32 now. Just beginning to, he's lost a little bit of pace, and he's frankly, to my money, he's just beginning to go. He's not quite what he was. When he fell, the way Cassano fell here, immediately felt there was something wrong. There's a bad touch.
He just held back before going into the, which means he's really been clattered by Thuram.
Thuram's lucky as well because he got the ball there first. Otherwise, that was a penalty.
Yeah,
he did touch the ball first, so.
And John Carew will be the obvious replacement.
No, I'm sorry to see Cassano go off. I'm not sorry to see Carew coming on because I think he's played well since he's joined Roma this season, and he also, you know, if you have a guy like Totti there to keep probing and laying on the balls for a big man like up front, he's much more a centre forward than Cassano. Cassano's much more a version of Totti himself.
So Roma temporarily down to 10 men as Cassano receives treatment on the side. Juventus, well, they are a goal to 0 down here in the Italian capital. Mauro Camoranesi and Tecanardi combined with Marco Di Vaio. Brilliantly brought down by Emerson, and
great ball,
beautiful ball off the outside of his foot towards Cassano,
who's made a miracle recovery.
Made a miracle recovery, although did wince.
He did actually, didn't he? He stretched for that one.
Whether he winced because he missed the ball or he winced because the knee is actually giving him some jip remains to be seen. Legratari up towards Nedved.
That just about sums up Juventus' first half. Things haven't gone their way, have they?
No, they really haven't.
There's Fabrizio Micheli warming up. That's interesting.
If you were, I mean, who would you bring Micheli on for? Because I can't say that I don't think that Di Vaio's been that disappointing, but
hasn't had a lot to do, has he?
Hasn't really had a lot to do, and
nor has Trezeguet.
Trezeguet's been anonymous, but at the same time,
he hasn't got anything to play with.
He's netted 12 in 17 this season, so you're not going to.
Yeah, but he also what ball has he got to play with tonight?
They've had nothing to play with. The Roma midfield have been excellent, and the combination of Emerson, Decourt and Lima they've done an awful lot of ball winning. Bonucci is brought down by Camoranesi. And that'll be a free kick to Roma.
I think if he did bring on Micheli, it would be in place of somebody like Conte, perhaps. He'd have to take somebody out, or maybe Camoranesi. Possibly more Camoranesi than Conte.
Camoranesi's been largely disappointing, I'd say, in the half. Certainly his delivery from dead ball situations hasn't been that special. So just 5 minutes to go until the half-time whistle now. Marco Di Vaio getting in behind the defence for the first time there, and a corner to Juve. Nedved takes it, it's headed away at the near post. And it comes back to Thuram. Ball flicked into the area, and that's another defensive header that will drift away for a corner to Juventus once again. And Nedved sprints across to take it. Played in deep. Pizzoli comes for it. He hasn't been at all convincing with that touch. It runs out for a throw into Juve, which Camoranesi will take.
He just got a bit of a touch, so he did enough and no more. But agrees it wouldn't exactly inspire you with total confidence.
So Thuram,
he's going to put the long one into the box.
Legratali stayed up for this one. Long throw comes in. Camoranesi and Legratali try to flick it on, but it's Panucci who gets it clear up to Cassano. However, ball comes back now to Camoranesi. His cross is not well dealt with by Zabina, and that will bounce out for yet another corner to Juventus. So
a little bit of pressure now.
A little bit of pressure for the visitors.
Yeah, look at Panucci with his arm over attacking Ardy's shoulder.
The ball in from Camoranesi this time. Comes back to Zambrotta. He can't control it, and it runs away for a goal kick.
Yeah.
It's good defending from Kivu and Totti doing just enough.
Just blocking. American football style.
So Totti deep inside his own half, and the ball laid back to Pelizzoli. Headed forward, and that challenge on Lima was high, so
yeah, he catches him.
Conte really does catch him there, and a yellow card for the Juventus skipper.
Is that the first yellow card of the game?
It's not. Walter Samuel went into the book earlier on. And Marco Di Vaio just receiving a little bit of treatment there after connecting with Christian Chivu. Totti just trying to get in behind Legratali there, and Buffon alert to the danger coming out and rescuing his side. Camoranesi, the touch around Bonucci. Nedved gets one back inside, but Roma come up with the ball with slightly more control than their opponents. Mancini loses out, but he gets back to win it back, and simple passing one from Totti and Mancini, although that one just running away. And Legratali comes up with it, and he can release Camoranesi down the right as we approach the end of the first half. Juve have been coming back into it in the last 5-10 minutes, but it still is 1-0 to Roma. Oh, lovely layoff from Nedved. Camoranesi, left foot cross is too short, and header from Samuel only clear as far as Zambrotta, who had Totti back with him. Headed out, Mancini, and Roma making a mess of getting this clear.
Yeah.
And Zambrotta is still coming forward, can get the cross in, just overhit it, and it will run out of play, but Roma putting themselves in trouble more than Juventus actually applying pressure that's putting the trouble in their way.
Now here comes Mikli.
Before the break. He's coming on for Di Vaio. Well, is that because Di Vaio hasn't recovered from the time when he struck the backside of Kivu's boot? He's hobbling.
He seems to be limping off all right a bit, yeah. Certainly Di Vaio wants us to believe that it was definitely an injury-enforced substitution.
I think it seems a strange time to make the substitution
if it wasn't.
Yeah,
but it is. Yeah, it is.
Lilian Thuram, Camoranesi. Juve with options. And another corner to the visitors. So Conte on the overlap. Camoranesi with a chance to get in another set play. It drops to Nedved. He rather scuffs the volley, and the referee's whistle goes.
Nedved's furious with himself. He's not accustomed to missing ones like that, because it's a real Sunday morning in the park player shot here. He completely misses it, doesn't he? One big difference between Juventus and Roma is that are the alternatives that Lippi has on the sideline. He's able to bring in Di Vaio tonight for Del Piero. When Di Vaio gets injured, he's able to bring in Micheli for Di Vaio. Micheli is, very, very talented player. It's his first season at Juventus after a very good year last year at Perugia, but he really is a very, very talented player. Player quite likely to be in the Italian squad at Euro 2004, even though he spent most of the season in the reserves bench, or rather in the substitutes bench at Juventus.
Montero once again penalised up against Totti, and it's nice going straight onto Di Vaio's foot, so it does look as though it was an enforced substitution.
And it was that instant you mentioned with Samuel, probably.
Move out once again, and the ball sprays clear upfield. Kivu recovers to get it back to Palazzoli. His clearance isn't the most convincing, but Nedved wins it in the air, only for Dacour to pick it up and find Mancini. Mancini charges forward, tries to feed Cassano, who seems to have totally recovered from his twisted knee earlier. Buffon, a little risky, but he got away with it.
Yeah.
Conte now to Zambrotta. Thump it up the pitch. And Zabina sees the ball go into touch, so we've had only 3 minutes of time added on at the end of the half. Mancini, good interception. Totti tries to find Cassano quickly, and it's just going to run away from him. Allegretali. Tacchinardi. But Roma come up with the ball again. Dacour, the goal scorer, and he's fouled. And that was a late challenge from Tacchinardi, but not the sort of one that Dacour's adverse to making himself. So,
well, they're a bit two of a kind, Tacchinardi and Dacour. Certainly their function in their relative sides is the same.
Taken quickly, Panucci goes to take on Camoranesi. Does well. Striding away. Ball takes a deflection off Thuram, goes out for a throw into Roma. Nearly up to 4 minutes of time added on at the end of this first half. There is the whistle marking the end of the first period. It's ended. Roma 1. Juventus 0, a goal from Olivier Dacour. Anyway, Pierluigi Collina looks at his watch and gets ready to get the second half underway. It's 1-0 to Roma. It remains incredibly tight, and it remains the most important second 45 minutes of the season at this stage.
And by the way, John, these two teams are not second and third. They're joint second. There is no second and third when you're in the same points in Italian football, because there is no goal difference. That doesn't count in Italian football. If it was the end of the season, they would be considered joint second. If you get to the end of the season with the same points, it's a playoff. Goal difference does not count in Italian football.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, but it's something that people tend to forget, because nearly every other championship in the world it does count. But in Italy, we go into a playoff if two teams end up with the same number of points.
Well, Palozzi to Kivu. That's a poor pass. Nedved picks it up. And Micheli with an early touch. Didn't really see much of the ball. Only on for a few minutes at the end of the first half.
Quite a bit of responsibility now sits on his diminutive shoulders. He's a very, very small player, but very talented.
Very ropey restart there from Pelozzi,
Yeah,
but
bad kicker.
seemed to get largely away with it. Takinardi to Nedved. Nedved looking for that ball down the line to Zambrotta. Still coming up with it. Nicoli chasing it down, and already Juve looking very committed. I mean, they still looked committed in the first half, but just didn't have the edge, certainly in the midfield battle. Cassano wins the free kick.
Well, it's Appia warming up, yeah.
And ball, so it's another free kick to Roma. Takinardi not happy with the decision.
If you were to bring on Appia, it would bear out what we've been saying about the midfield battle, because that's what you're bringing him on for, to try and win that.
Yeah. Neat skill, and that's another nasty challenge, even though Totti was only dragging the ball into touch. That one very cynical from Zambrotta.
Yeah, but it was a bit, but I don't think it really hurt Totti, did it?
No. So the ball played in, and the flick on near post by Camoranesi gets the danger away for the time being. Campagnucci with the quick throw in back to Kivu. It's a long raking ball out to Totti. Excellent control from him. Played in across the ground, and a golden opportunity for Emerson, which he skied over the crossbar.
I think you might have to give this, some Juventus defender here a bit of credit for putting Emerson off.
Corner came in and was cleared, but it was an intelligent ball from Totti. Everyone expecting the ball in the air, and Emerson conceding the free kick there.
One of the things, John, I was saying earlier, at that moment when it appeared that Cassano might be coming off, Carew was going to come on for him, is I like the look of Roma more with Carew in front than with Cassano in front, because what's the point of knocking crosses for Cassano? He's not. I mean, he's not a huge man. Carew is a big, useful target man in the air.
Absolutely.
And no, that's why Totti in that situation didn't even bother knocking it in the air.
The point, Nedved just clipped there, and Dolina looks to be thought about reaching for his pocket, I think, but then realised that it was Walter Samuel, who's already in the book. Oh no, it was actually Jonathan Sabina, who isn't. Well, Juve had plenty of free kicks in this sort of position in the first half. They didn't do anything with them. This one will be played in by Nicoli. See if he can do better than the dead balls that Camoranesi was offering. It's taken a deflection, I think, for a corner.
Yeah. Kivu, it looks like, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's bad communication, because he could have actually let that go.
Yeah, yeah.
Nicoli then with a corner from this near side. Played in, Pellizzoli very uncommitted, and it came back to Nedved, who struck it in on goal. Cassano knocks it down, and all of a sudden the break is on for Roma. Mancini, and that is going to be a yellow card for Paolo Montero.
No, it has to be. However, Mancini should have let go. He had, I think it was Lima he had storming down to his left, and Cassano to his right. He didn't have to try and go past Montero there. He could have just, laid off the pass, and either to his left or to his right. There was something on there for Roma. It was a classic counter-attacking situation, and he rather held on to it a little bit too long, a little bit too greedy there.
Yeah, it was. Lima with the ball forward, just down by Totti. Takinardi can get it clear, and it's now Nicoli. He runs into Emerson. Stride forward. Two of the quicker men on the pitch there, Emerson and Zambrotta, both for their years anyway.
Well, Emerson's still a useful player. He's, both these guys are actually, you might say for the years, but they're both
I mean,
guys with a lot of,
they're not actually as old as I was.
They've been around for longer, and they
They've
give the
been
impression.
longer.
But I mean, Zambrotta's actually 26 and Emerson 27.
Yeah. Samuel wins it in the air confidently, but Nedved came up with it, looked to feed Mikoli, put pressure on Zabina. Clear only as far as Takinadi, now Zambrotta. That's an excellent challenge. And a good ball from Emerson and beautifully laid off for Cassano.
Oh, yeah.
That's a poor pass.
The game's nicely set up for Roma at this stage because Juventus are of all teams, are not the sort of side that are going to lie down and die. They're going to take the game to you. They're going to try and come at you, and in so doing, they're obviously going to leave themselves open to the counter-attack. It's, you know, one of the simplest and oldest rules of football.
Caranegi leaves it for Panucci. Throw in to Roma. Totti and Cassano combined. Cassano, that is a penalty.
Has to be.
And it is a penalty kick.
No, it's a penalty from the second that happened.
And as you can see by the lack of Juventus protestations here, I think they all knew as soon as the tackle was made. It's a wonderful little turn from Cassano.
Yeah, but I mean,
and a great ball from Totti.
But I said it earlier in the commentary, John. I think Montero's gone. I don't think he's the player he used to be. And there's a place where Montero 2 years ago wouldn't have been caught like that. He's given away a penalty.
Place there for Montero, who is in the book. Could have been a yellow card.
He could have been off as well. Yeah. He's
off.
already got a yellow booking. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So,
what sort of penalty will he take?
Totti against Buffon.
Will he try a little chip, which is one of his trademarks in the penalty spot, or will he blast it?
Goes for the placement, and it catches the inside of the post, and it's 2-0 to Roma. And now you can see what that means. The 12th goal this season for Totti is there from the spot. It's 2-0 to Roma. We've had 9 minutes of the second half, and they are very much in control here at the Olimpico. And that was, I think we're going to see from this angle,
terrific penalty.
Inch perfect.
Terrific penalty. Wow, just a little bit too perfect. He went close to hitting the post, didn't he? I mean, he did hit the post, but he hit the inside of the post.
Cassano couldn't watch. Well, Buffon, I actually think that if that had been any closer, though,
Buffon might have got to it. It was a good. He made a good dive. Yeah.
Very good dive. So, Juventus now really are up against it. They're 2-0 down at the Olimpico. And all of that play that saw them edge back into the match at the end of the first half and the beginning of the second half, a few positive moves forward. They still haven't made Pelizzoli make a save. And it is now 2-0 to Roma after that spot kick. But he waits. Here he is. And that's a vicious challenge.
By Montero. He's off now. He's off now. He's off now. He's off, there's no question about it. He's off.
He is off. Well, that was foolish. I think
it's the sort of thing happens to defenders when they get to a certain. Oh yeah. I mean, it's just frustration. It's not that he's got any argument with Totti in particular. There, he's just frustrated there, and he doesn't even try to play the ball. He just whacks Totti down. But and Marcello Lippi's not going to. Marcello Lippi knows from the second he sees Montero do that his player's off. He also knows, more importantly, that his player's lost his cool. And he knows, even more importantly than not, that by so doing, Montero's only aggravated the Juventus situation.
Well, a long walk back for the Uruguayan.
No, he doesn't look like a happy camper, does he?
No.
But Montero, that's the sort of thing that happens to a defender. You get to the end of your career. Mihailovic is another case. You see him do it. We saw him most recently do it with the Irish player Duff again, playing for Lazio against Chelsea in a Champions League match recently. Duff was going past him time and time again. He eventually got fed up and just whacked him down twice and got himself sent off.
Well, there was
you don't
really
have that.
no excuse for that sort of challenge other than frustration. A shot coming in from Mancini. Falls back to Cassano, who just dummies it, so it goes out for a throw-in. And Buffon, solid save there, but Juventus' heads are going down. They're 2-0 down, and they're down to 10 men. And they know how important this game is, and that's another foul on Cassano, who all of a sudden,
it's causing them problems.
After we'd been saying that we prefer to see Carew on, perhaps, Cassano is causing all sorts of problems in and around the box. Conte was just done there, and he very quick to accept that.
In very similar way to that in which Montero was done.
Yeah.
Just a turn.
Totti's back on the pitch.
Well, I don't think there was terribly much wrong with Totti to begin with.
No, and
it's Pesotto, isn't it, going on?
Igor Tudor.
Is it Tudor?
I think. For a number 5 up
yes,
there.
it is Tudor, actually, you're right.
Coming on in place of Conte, who also already booked. Probably a wise decision by Lippi, because Conte got caught out by another one of those little turns. Even though it's not as cynical, he's probably going to have to be shown a second yellow card. So Igor Tudor, the Croatian, comes on. It's a free kick around the area. Played particularly well. Totti got it back for a second. Zambrotta smacks it clear. It's only as far as Samuel. Camoranesi, that's a good ball to Miccoli. He's got Nedved ahead of him. He goes to take on Mancini. And the Roma player penalised for that challenge. Mancini was actually the one who very nearly got himself in some trouble when Montero committed the foul on Totti, which saw him sent off. Some serious calming down. So Miccoli with the free kick, puts it in. Booming header clear, the head of Emerson. Miccoli comes back, nice play to Zambrotta. Cross from Zambrotta, and Nedved is penalised. Oh, it's Legratani, sorry, he's penalised. Just using Chivu as a little bit of a stepladder and still unable to get to the ball. Well, this is the shot from Mancini. Dipping awkwardly for Buffon, that's a good save in the end. But it's all smiles if you're a Roma fan or player at the moment. Had about a third of this second half, and it's Roma 2, Juventus 0. A penalty from Francesco Totti, his 12th of the season, third from the spot. The second goal, and Totti puts pressure on Thuram there, gets it back to Buffon. He does well to clear as far as Nedved. Camoranesi to Trezeguet, who's having to drop ever deeper. Good ball, was it offside? Miccoli up against Pellizzoli, and the keeper did well. That was good alertness shown by the keeper there, and he committed himself with his legs. That's not a good ball from the opposite flank, however, from Zabina. So Juve, just moments after going 2-0 down, found themselves down to 10 men. Paulo Montero with a cynical and unnecessary challenge born out of nothing more than frustration, seeing him receive a second yellow and leave the pitch. So Juve are down to 10 men, and they're 2-0 down. Miccoli with the free kick. Well played in, it's a good header. At the near post, coming from Tudor, I think.
It is Tudor, yeah.
Nice
I think also, John, that's the first sort of halfway difficult save that Palazzo's had to make in the entire match. We'll have more than an hour of football.
It is Cassano out to Totti, who just makes that look so easy. Side to Emerson, now Decor, scorer of the opening goal. 1-2 was woefully under hit by Cassano. Camoranesi, Nedved, Trezeguet. Camoranesi once again from Legratali. The Juve are going to be chasing this game, and if they're to get anything out of it, they're going to have to take the sort of risks that are going to leave them susceptible to conceding more. Here's the control from Totti.
Yeah, well, I think the patrons, the local patrons, like that one.
Yeah. Camoranesi, Tacchinardi now. Leases out comfortably to Emerson in the challenge, and Totti takes the ball down to the byline and wins the throw-in off Legratali.
Yeah, you know, Lippi really didn't, such as the Roma pressure tonight, Lippi didn't have any choice but to bring on a defender to replace Montero once he'd been sent off. So he
Lovely ball from Emerson. Totti, cheeky back heel, room for Decor. Comes through to Panucci. Cassano remains the only target in the middle. That header clear as far as Nedved. He challenges Lima and the ball goes out for the throw-in. Now Camoranesi. Nice turn from him. Tying is up. It's another back heel from Totti, winning the claim of the slow-mo man. Lima, by Camoranesi, and I think
that's a bit hard, isn't it?
I think that is hard.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a bit hard.
I think he came up with the ball, and Lima and Camoranesi certainly. No hard feelings between the two of them. We did catch Lima first there. Getting perhaps a little more of the player than the ball initially, but still, whether it was a yellow card offence or not, it's another question. He's gone in the book, and well, Juve will not want to lose another man, obviously. So Camoranesi will have to watch himself. Trezeguet does well for a while, and then loses out to Cassano. And his shot whistles past the upright, but his tail is up at the moment.
Yeah.
And this is when he's at his best. That effort just drifting a little high and wide. But Cassano won the penalty for the second goal, and then a few moments later did a beautiful turn inside Conte, which won a free kick right on the edge of the area. So he's just 21 years old, and he's a really big prospect for the Italian national team.
Well, he's quite likely to be in the squad too at Euro 2004. In the squad, not necessarily the team, but he's likely to get there.
Zambrotta combining with Nedved before the ball came back to Tacchinardi, and it's now with Camoranesi. Back to Tacchinardi, so 25 minutes left. Nedved with a little bit of room to run. No doubt the man who's winning the contest of the two playmakers tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, just about to say that. I know if you'd asked me before the game who will win that, I would have said Nedved. In fact, Totti's has answered my original criticism. He's risen to the occasion so far. He's had an excellent game tonight.
Now it's another free kick in a promising position to Juve. They've had several of these tonight. They really do need to try and make one count. Miccoli will take it once again. Several targets in there. Miccoli drives in at the near post. It's a good save from Pellizzoli.
It's a good free kick, wasn't it?
Very good free kick struck with plenty of venom.
Plenty of twist and bend.
And that was creeping just inside the near post, and it's a corner to Juve that's come from it. Once again, Miccoli puts in, and Pellizzoli, well, that...
He was out with a washing there, wasn't he?
That demonstrated everything that is bad about this young 23-year-old, as the save from the free kick demonstrated everything that's good about him. Quite a lot of inconsistency.
That's a terrible. He wasn't ever anywhere near it.
It looks as though he might have
hurt
slipped,
himself.
actually.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
Perhaps he got cramp. He's been standing around doing nothing for most of the game, and he's just had a couple of bursts of energy have led to some cramp.
Here's Appia. Given the people who start off on the bench, it has to be Camoranesi. There aren't too many other options for Lippi, but one thing he's had to do, given the pressure that Roma have put on Juventus here, is he couldn't, after Montero going off, he had to bring on Tudor, move Thuram into the centre of defence where Montero was, and put Tudor right back where Thuram was. He'd no choice, he couldn't do that, take that risk of playing with just 3 defenders against the Roma side that just, at the moment, too much on top. What's happened here? It looks like, that's what Lucas' foot seems,
I was being a little harsh to him then. Yeah. Although I still can't say that I have the most amount of confidence when I see Pellizzoli coming for the ball. Thought he asked just a little too much of Mancini there, and Thuram tidies before Buffon clears towards Nedved. He's beaten in the air again, and Decor comes up with it. Short pass to Mancini. He has Totti outside him. He uses his skipper, Camoranesi. Not Camoranesi, Cassano even comes short for it, and once again though there a demonstration of the lack of height in the box. Totti decides to have a go.
He a bit wasted that one.
Was Fabio Capello.
I think Capello's actually shouting to Totti there. What that language means is knock it around a bit, Francesco. Don't just whack it away like that.
The thing is that Roma have looked so comfortable on the ball when they have passed it.
Yeah.
Their midfield has dominated for all but about 2 or 3 minutes of the game. Samuel winning the free kick there, foul by Trezeguet. And Capello wants it calmed down by the looks of things. Cassano turns Tudor, wins the free kick. It'll be interesting to see at the end of the evening how many free kicks Cassano's won.
Wow, despite what I've said about him, he's had a terrific game, hasn't he?
Yeah. Well, he needed to, because he just gone off the boil
a little bit. Yeah,
a little bit in recent weeks. So, Totti looking for the touch to find Cassano.
You say that, John, it's true, but the whole Roma team have gone off the boil.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
It's not. Can't think. I mean, so that point was made to Capello yesterday in the press conference on the eve of this game, and he said, "Well, it's not. He hasn't disappointed me at all. The team disappointed me, but not Cassano. He's just a reflection of the way the team hasn't been playing well."
But you cannot say that about the Roma performance tonight.
No, this is... I mean, given the thing about Roma's January is that they got beaten 3 times in a row by AC Milan, 2-1 defeats each time, twice in the Italian Cup and once here at the Olympico, and that really knocked a hole in their form and their confidence. They touched a low ebb then last week with a 1-0 defeat with Brescia, and they were very unimpressed with a 1-1 draw with Udinese the week before that. So, they were in a bad run. They needed this.
Cross comes in, takes a deflection. The touch is in from Totti. It's 3-0. Oh, Cassano, I beg his pardon.
Cassano's adding to everything good he's done tonight already. That took a deflection though. A little bit unlucky, that one for Juventus.
Still a class finish.
Well, what's this about? Well, it's a new way of celebrating a goal every week, isn't it?
Certainly is.
It's a bit of a soft goal in the sense that it was just an unfortunate deflection that completely wrong-footed Buffon. It's also a quickly taken free kick. You look at Juventus defence is still standing around looking at themselves when Mancini knocks this in. There's the deflection.
Takes the deflection off Tacchinardi.
Yeah.
And then very precise finish there from Cassano. Good striker's goal, that one.
Terrific goal. In and off the inside of the post.
And that post hasn't been much of a friend to Buffon.
No, it hasn't. 2 goals have gone in off, haven't it?
So with 20 minutes to go, Roma are, you would have thought, home and dry. This is Serie A after all, and
well, it's
not the
Premiership. John, I'll really stick my neck out and say Roma are home and dry here.
Some nastiness here.
A little bit of frustration just.
Frustration breaking out. Nedved, the player involved.
It's not like Nedved to get involved in anything.
They're missing the player who seems to have...
Was it not Zabina?
It was Zabina. Quite right. And Colina.
You know, this Roma Juventus tie, or Juventus Roma, whichever way it's played, it's a match that has a lot of history about it. In the more than once in the 80s, it decided the overall outcome of the championship in the time when you had people like Platini and Boniek playing for Juventus, and you had Falcao and Ceresa playing for Roma. There were 2 very, very strong sides. And on a couple of occasions it was decided by controversial goals that always went in Juve's favour. So every time Roma play Juventus, it's something special. And to beat them by 1-0 or 2-0, or as it is tonight 3-0, that's a particularly sweet moment for the Roma fans, and they're enjoying this one every second.
Nicoli decides to have a go himself once again. There's some more trouble in the box.
Penalty? Has he given a penalty? He's given a penalty.
He's given the penalty, and
he's given a penalty.
Well,
Trezeguet wants to take it.
Totti is not at all happy about this.
Holding on
Kivu, who's conceded it for holding on Takenardi, I think.
Yeah, I think that must be it.
Well,
you can't say this game has been boring.
No, you can't, and whatever the Roman players want to say about it, Colina was right in front. Colina was right in front of the action.
You're right as well. It's definitely the foul by Kivu on Takenardi that's done it.
And it's just got an extra edge to it in this last few minutes. Zabina went down after Nedved's hand seemed to brush.
Totti out there trying to put Trezeguet off his stride. Trezeguet really wanted to take this penalty as well. Look, the players trying to get into the box. Look.
Trezeguet up against Spalletti to try and restore a little bit of pride to Juve.
The referee's having a lot of bother keeping these players into the box before the penalties, out of the box before the penalty's even taken, let alone while it's been taken.
So Trezeguet, great save by Pellizzoli.
He did well, the keeper did well there.
It's saved by the feet in the end.
But he kept his cool, he didn't move, because he hit it straight at him.
Wasn't a great penalty.
No.
Cassano chases down Tudor to Legratali and then back to Buffon. And so it really is not a good night, and
he hits it straight at Pellizzoli, look.
He still does well because he hit it hard. And
no, what he's done brilliantly here, John, because he hasn't committed himself. He's waited to see what way the ball's gone. So many keepers decide they're going to make a fantastic save and make up their mind to dive before the player's even chosen his direction. He waited to the last second. I think I stuck my neck out earlier and said that Roma are home and dry. I think I'll stick it out again and say that Roma are definitely home and dry.
I think that's fair enough.
There isn't a snowball's hope in hell of Juventus getting anything out of this game now.
They're not enjoying that much luck, it has to be said.
Exactly. They haven't had any rub of the green tonight.
Just when you needed that one to take a deflection off the keeper's boot and spin it back into the goal, or the keeper to commit himself. Trezeguet has chosen the time to do the straight penalty when the keeper stays in that place. So he doesn't add to his 12 goals this season. And Totti and Pellizzoli are delighted. It remains Roma 3, Juventus 0. I'm wondering if Cassano's gone down because of further trouble with his knee, perhaps. He looks to be holding on to... Well, it is the knee, and he slid.
Yeah. It's not to do with anything anybody did to him.
No.
I'm glad to say. I'm sorry for him, but it is serious.
Well, let's hope it's not, because he has been quite outstanding this evening.
He's had a very, very good game.
A really good game from the youngster. Capped off with a goal. Now, Colin will be aware that although the clock currently says that 75 minutes have been played, must have at least 4, if not more, minutes of injury time already in this half, along with the time it took for him to get the penalty taken, and the little fracas between Nedved and Zabina, which looked little more than a brush of the hand, but still. Here's Mikoli. Finds Appiah, one of the 3 Juve substitutes. The other one, Tudor. Now Takinardi wearing the skipper's armband. Zambrotta in the position that he likes to get. That cross is not a good one though, and Appiah has plenty to do when he picks it up, the Ghanaian. Played into Nedved. Once again out to Appiah. Can't find Nedved again, and he fouls Decor. That'll suit Roma. Bonucci with the free kick. Cassano is back on now, hobbling around. I would have thought that when you've got a 3-goal advantage and you've got John Carroll on the bench, it would be worth taking him off. He doesn't look that happy. Mancini brought down by...
Yeah, I would take off Cassano. Give him he's done the business in splendid fashion. You can give him a rest now.
Give him a rest. Gives the crowd a chance.
Give to Caro run out.
Give Caro run out and gives the crowd a chance to show their appreciation towards the youngster's performance.
No, I think he will, but I think Johnny will come off. He's not going to play the full 90 minutes.
No. It's a free kick in a very promising position here.
No.
The foul by Zambrotta on Mancini.
Kivu took most of these in the first half in that position. I suspect this time Totti might decide time for me to have a go.
Kivu might be trying to say to him, I'd like to score. It is Totti.
Right, hits the post.
Great save. It's headed back in, and Bonucci was offside anyway. He couldn't get up high enough to connect with the ball, and he collided with Buffon. I think he's absolutely fine, judging by the smile on his face.
He's in an offside position, I think.
Yeah.
At that point. Watch Totti though, beautifully struck. No, it's a good start. I said it hit the post, beg your pardon. Good save from Buffon.
It was a good save, but his wall didn't seem in a particularly good... I mean...
Well, it was a well struck... Yeah, right. He might have had an extra man on the...
The wall was inviting that sort of shot. And
yeah, he might have had an extra man on the left-hand side of the wall as he looked at it, yeah.
Getting work for himself. Takinardi. Not happy about something there. So Kivu with the free kick. We move into the last 10 minutes of regulation time. Totti lays the ball to Zabina, and even he's having a go. It'll be a throw into Roma, and well, if you're a Juventus fan or player, I should imagine at the moment you'd want to be fast forwarding the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Zabina.
Just get it over with.
But Roma are going to want to enjoy it to the full. Especially that man, Francesco Totti. Inside to Decor. Cassano, lovely touch. So nearly a beautiful through ball to the run from Mancini, but it was cut out. That was glorious football. Zabina, another chance to come forward. Totti. Every pass will now be cheered by the home faithful. They are going to enjoy this, and why shouldn't they? Their team have put together a fantastic performance.
They've also been professional enough to make sure that they move the ball around a lot and make their extra man tell. You've really been stretched all the time here, knocking it from flank to flank.
You have to remember that Roma were 2-0 up before the extra man.
No, I don't think the extra man is... No, that was just salt in the wound. Juventus were beaten by the time Montero was sent off, frankly. One of the one interesting aspect about this result is that if you were AC Milan and you had to pick a winner tonight, you would almost certainly pick Juventus, because given the form that they've been in and given the difficulty of being Roma, it was harder for Roma to come back from being 8 points off the pace than for Juventus to come back from being that far off the pace. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a harder place to coach at Roma. There's more pressure. There's more, and there's much less history of winning than there is at Juventus. Juventus have lost tonight, but they're not out of the championship contest for a second. Don't think that. Whereas had Roma lost 3-0 here tonight, you would have been really tempted to say that they're actually out of the championship contest. The reality is that even after tonight, all three sides, it's still very much a three-horse race. Juventus are not out. Roma have absolutely signalled they're back in the contest with a bang. And Milan, of course, are out in front, 5 points clear of them. Nedved there diving in, and
the goal was actually clipped by Takinadi.
It was, yeah.
It's Nedved's got to be a little bit careful, I think, in the closing moments.
Just frustration, John. You're getting beaten. If you play, Juventus don't lose too many games 3-0. It doesn't happen very often.
Just you look at that defensive record. They've now conceded 24 goals this season.
Yeah, there are problems.
Tonight, they have probably deserved to concede the 3 goals. They've been outplayed, outmaneuvered, and certainly taken apart in the midfield, where Juve have had very little to offer to come back, and you would have expected the experience of Takinadi and Conte to prove more of a challenge up against Decor, Lima and Mancini and Emerson, but those 4 players have been quite superb at ball winning and distribution, and then had the little bonuses of the magic touches up front from Totti and Cassano especially tonight, and you have the answers as to why the scoreline reads Roma 3, Juventus 0. David Trezeguet with a rare opportunity there.
He didn't do too badly, just had it just too high. It wasn't a bad effort.
Took a touch from the keeper, but
Pelletier had it covered, didn't he?
Yeah. I think free kick awarded against Trezeguet. Use of the arm. But also further proof, if it was needed, that Christian Kivu has been one of the best signings of the season, and certainly Roman fans will be delighted to see that they got him and
not Legretali.
Juventus ended up with Legretali. Not to say that Legretali's had a particularly bad game.
No, he
tonight.
hasn't had a bad game tonight.
He's just been he was let down more than anything by Montero when Montero was on the pitch, and now that he's off it. Trezeguet loses out to Zabina in the end. Referee waves play on. The ball's clipped through. It's a lovely ball to Mancini. He has
good ball again.
Emerson with him. Mancini. Cassano! Oh! Yes. That is quite superb. And knee injury or not, he's kicked the flag in half. I wouldn't be surprised to see a yellow card come out for that, actually.
I think he should get a yellow card for that, I'm afraid. Sorry to say. I know he didn't. He's done it out of, he's going to get a yellow card. Here comes Colina.
And that is the schoolmaster saying, why do you go and do that?
Yeah.
You've scored a brilliant goal and you have to go and ruin it all by kicking the flag in half.
I thought he's going to bring... I thought he's going to send him back, go down there and put that corner flag back in his place. What about that, though, for a touch from Emerson to Mancini, and then Mancini's cross, and then just header, perfection at that point. The Juventus defence completely laid bare. It's embarrassing.
He still had a lot to do with this header, because...
He did, but he certainly did it with a header.
I mean,
it's a brilliant header. He's put it right in the corner, hasn't he?
Fantastic. I mean, just wonderful to watch, and, well... I think I'd be willing to join you now and say Roma are probably going to win this one, Paddy.
Well, it just goes to show how right I was when I said they should bring on Caru and take off Cassano. Eh?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's had a terrific game here.
There goes the corner flag. So Cassano in the book, but he's probably not going to be too bothered about that. It's his first booking this season. They're just looking for some gaffer tape to put the corner flag
They
back
are
together.
actually. And they're fortunate they found a new one.
That is that one. Well, Cassano's just sitting there going, well, that's going to find its way onto a quiz showing what happened next.
I don't think any of the Roma fans are going to complain about it. It's a great combination though between Mancini and Emerson. I know Cassano has done brilliantly tonight, and Totti's done brilliant tonight. But if you ask me who my man of the match was, and certainly my man of the night for Roma, I'd give it to Emerson. I think their midfield, the Dakor Lima Emerson midfield, has been absolutely quintessential to the victory tonight, and Emerson really has been outstanding. The amount of ball he's got, and it's not just he can win ball, but Emerson can really knock it around and play. And you just saw a little bit of it there in that fourth goal.
I definitely agree with you there, Paddy. It has been just a superb midfield performance. Cassano now
gets a standing ovation. As we predicted.
And gets to leave the pitch a little bit early. Fabio Capello possibly accelerated to that decision by hoping that he won't do anything else stupid before the final whistle.
Yeah.
But they'll be delighted, and that goal really is the icing on the cake. It's the best goal of the night, and it was such a superb team move, and involving three men who on the night have been absolutely superb.
Yeah.
So John Carew comes on to get a 5-minute run out. Juventus, well, they really will be just begging for the final whistle, but I think they've got at least 9 minutes to play, 5 minutes of normal time, and then
yeah, there should be quite a lot of time to add on. We've had a number of stoppages, haven't we, for substitutions and penalties and injuries.
Nedved
sendings off.
Wins that back, put it to Tudor, and it's a free kick awarded to.
Well, John, I said earlier you don't see Juventus lose too often 3-0. They're now losing 4-0. I suspect there's a lot of people up and down Italy hurriedly consulting the football manuals and record books to see when the last time they actually lost 4-0 was. I don't know when it was, but it certainly hasn't been in my lifetime. Certainly not in a Serie A game.
Take a while, stab in the dark and say it hasn't been in mine then. Once again, the Roma midfield.
Well, the match is over. The match is over and out at this point.
But it has been the Emerson, Mancini, Dakor and Lima combination. So much ball won, and it's just also their excellent distribution from winning that ball. There are very few midfield players who would put themselves down as ball winners and people who are creative in the same way as the four players.
I think Emerson in particular is absolutely world class. But I mean, Emerson's a guy who, had he not injured himself on the eve of the last World Cup, would have captained the side that went on to win the World Cup. You know,
Francesco Totti is to get his standing ovation just 2 minutes before the end, to be replaced by
D'Agostino.
Gaetano D'Agostino. Comes on for his 8th appearance for Roma this season. Spent the last 2 seasons on loan with Bari.
He's a very, very talented player, John. He's under 21, key figure in the under 21 side that's looking good for the under 21 finals this summer in Germany. And a player that Capello thought a lot about maybe playing him from the start tonight, D'Agostino. He's a playmaker type player.
Return from Appiah as Juve perhaps look for just a consolation goal. Nedved still full of running and wins the free kick. But it has been one of those nights for Juve, and really epitomised by David Trezeguet's penalty, which was saved by Ivan Polizzoli. And there was that moment in the first half. 4 minutes it is to be of time added on. Miccoli, his shot goes straight along the ground into the arms of Polizzoli. They won't want anything to take the shine off this victory, and the concession of a goal late on would.
Yeah, it would. Takes a little bit of the shine off your bliss.
A little bit off the bliss.
It does, yeah.
Even though to have scored 4 is going to be a night to be remembered here in Rome. Walter Samuel with the challenge. Nedved lets it run out. It's going to be another substitution. And
De Rossi's coming on.
Daniel De Rossi, who has a goal to his name in the UEFA Cup with Roma.
This is another member of the Italian under-21 team too.
Yeah.
Very talented player as well. Two youngsters that Capello's saving quite a lot this season.
Striding
goes
forward
Zabina.
comes Jonathan Zabina. D'Agostino
With that ball.
cross. Thuram had to get the touch because John Curry was coming in at the far post.
Do you know one thing about Juventus? I've been thinking. I thought often this season that they clearly have problems in defence. The problems in the centre of defence. Why not play as you're playing now with Thuram? Stop this business playing him at right back. Play him in centre of defence alongside Liguritai.
Yep.
Drop Montero, frankly, and play Birondelli, Zambrotta, Passotta, those guys as your fullbacks. Solve your problem.
Another goal scorer coming off. Here is Olivier Dacour's goal that came in the 13th minute that set the ball rolling for Roma. He's replaced by Daniel De Rossi, another one of these young under 21-year-olds that he was talking about just a moment ago when we mentioned the arrival of Gaetano D'Agostino.
No, the two of them are absolutely key figures in the under 21 side. And De Rossi, Trapattoni's even hinted that he hasn't excluded calling him up for the for Euro 2004, even though he'd be playing a couple of weeks earlier in the under 21 championships finals.
Kivu. And it would be fair to say that Kivu and Samuel have had very little to deal with at the back, just set pieces more than anything else.
Yeah, but what they've had to deal with, they've dealt with pretty effectively, haven't they?
Yeah.
I agree with you, though. It's been a disappointing performance from Juventus up front.
De Rossi with his first touch. His foot out. Panucci does well to keep that in.
He does, right.
De Rossi once again. The clock ticks down. I don't think any Juventus player or fan would mind Collina blowing it up now, but we'll let the minute and so seconds tick away for.
Yeah, I mean it's just
the time. It's been a painful night for Juventus. Down to 10 men and losing 4-0. It's easily cut out, but Panucci brings the ball back forward.
They don't get much more painful than this for Juventus, actually.
6-0 at home against Torino, possibly being.
That was a long, long time ago.
Yeah, exactly. D'Agostino inside to Carew. D'Agostino up against Appia as well. Lilian Thuram commits the foul, so a free kick to Roma will be probably the last play in this game. Whether they whip it into the box or just take it short and play it down to the corner flag remains to be seen. It's laid back to Emerson.
There it goes.
There is the final whistle. Emerson hoofs the ball into the crowd. It's been a dream night for Roma, where they have reignited their championship intentions. They move to within 5 points of leaders Milan. For Juventus, it's back to the drawing board. A disappointing night for them, but they are the sort of club who will be able to put it behind them, you think.
Shine bright like the view of the sky inside